My name is Ellie. I'm a fourth-year kinesiology student, and after I graduate, I'm hoping to apply and get into medical school. So we are looking at suicide rates within student collegiate athletes in the D1, D2, and D3 level, and we're kind of looking at which groups experience the highest rates of suicide over the past 12 years, if it's males, if it's females, contact sports, non-contact sports, team sports, individual sports. And then the idea is that if you can identify which areas are most at risk, then you can put in some intervention program within those areas to hopefully reduce numbers. So we're kind of just trying to get the raw data out there saying that there is a problem and where the problem is mostly centralized, so that then from there we can probably try to implement something that will help student athletes. I wanted to do something research involved because generally it looks pretty decent on a pre-med application, and also I thought that it would just challenge me a little more than some of the other experiential opportunities, and I'm going to have to work with research in medical school and then throughout as a doctor, staying up to date on current literature, so I thought it could be a good idea to get a little more familiarized with the process and just becoming more comfortable with reading literature and understanding research. It really depends on which stage of the process you're in, what your specific research project is, who you're working with, what your roles are, what your responsibilities is, but I think in general you should anticipate that you aren't going to have a consistent schedule on a week-to-week basis. I think, especially in the beginning, it's really hard having the self-confidence to think that what you're doing is enough. You have a lot more responsibility, and a mistake you have can kind of compromise the integrity of the entire study. So at times it feels like, am I, as an undergraduate student, really qualified to be doing this? And so I think in the beginning it's really trusting yourself, that you do have these skills, you're just not as practiced with them as you are with other things. And everybody who runs research for the kinesiology program is more than willing to work with their students and kind of lead them where they need to go. Yes, so for a minute there I was thinking that maybe I didn't want to go into practicing medicine as much as doing the PhD route. And while I have enjoyed my experience very much, I don't know that academia is currently the place for me. I think that in research sometimes there's a push to publish. If you're a researcher, you have to be publishing a certain amount each year, and I think at times it can be hard then to come up with projects that you feel passionate about. I think that Dr. Hamstra-Wright and Dr. JCL are very fortunate in that they feel very passionate about the topics that they're working on, so I don't think they really run out of topics that they can dive into at the intersection between psychology and kinesiology. But I don't think that everybody has that privilege working in research, and I just don't know that that's really a challenge. It interests me that I would like to pursue further, so I think while I have enjoyed my experience, it has confirmed for me that I think I want to go more in the practice route than the theory route. I think that there was challenges along the way, but I don't think anything was necessarily surprising per se. I think that I was pretty well prepared when at the beginning of the semester we kind of went over what we were going to be doing, what projects everybody was going to have. I think that we stuck to that pretty well, so I don't think there was any really big shocks. I think you have your advisor, and throughout the course of your year or your year and a half, whatever program you sign up for, you do develop a very strong working relationship with that advisor, just because they're kind of your lifeline to the project and understanding it and which direction you want to go with it. You're just in communication with them a lot, and so inevitably you kind of just develop a stronger relationship with them, which I think I really have enjoyed. I felt like I've developed a stronger relationship with my faculty advisor, Dr. Hamstra-Wright, than I would have if I was doing a different experiential program. And you're very one-on-one usually. If you're doing a research project, it's either you working specifically with one advisor, or maybe you have a couple of other undergraduates, but I think as a whole your team gets very close because there's just such a intimate group. I think you need to be prepared to be challenged. I definitely don't think that it's the easiest experiential learning opportunity out there if you're just looking to get your credits and get out of the way. I wouldn't say that this is something that you should do, but if you're looking to go into something where having a research background is going to be helpful, I think it's a great idea. I think if you're looking to be challenged and to grow, I think it's a great idea. I think you develop a lot of skill understanding literature. You get a lot more comfortable presenting your findings. You get a lot better at presenting findings to the general public. So a lot of times I think that we can be very good at regurgitating information in the format that we received it, but sometimes it's hard to then simplify it into the language that the general person can understand. So I think that's something that you really will get stronger at. So if that's something that you're going to need in your future career, I think it could be a good idea. Overall, just if you're looking to build deeper connections with the faculty and really just get deeper experiences out of your experiential learning, then I think this would be a good idea for you. I think you just need to know that you're going to be in databases a lot, in research a lot. You have to kind of understand the format that that's going to take and have some general idea of how to approach those situations, but I also think that most advisors will help you with that and growing in that. So I think just knowing what you're getting yourself into and being prepared to be challenged at times is really the most important. But I wouldn't say that I did anything ahead of time to specifically prepare. I think you just need to be ready as the challenges come. So for me, I think that the most important thing is just knowing what works for you and not trying to fight that. So me personally, I know that I'm a terrible procrastinator. I always overload my schedule and I get everything done really at the last second. And I don't love that about myself, but I do know that to be true. So generally, if we had something that we needed done, I would ask Dr. Hamstra-Wright to give me kind of a shorter deadline so that I didn't have time to procrastinate for 2 weeks and then do it at the last second, because I knew realistically it was probably going to be getting done the night before the deadline anyway, so she probably should just give me a 3-day deadline so that we really got where we needed to be. The growth that I've seen within myself from last year starting in the fall to where I am now, I think I'm just a lot more confident in research, in public speaking. I think that I've grown more as a professional, and I really enjoy the relationship that I've created with Dr. Hamstra-Wright and JCL. So I think just that you are going to be challenged and you are going to grow, and that's a really rewarding experience.